Hi there, it's Marlene Helema from ImageMaven.com. In this video, I'm going to share with you the settings I use to shoot my YouTube videos. Videos like this one. I've had this question dozens of times in the last couple of months, so today is your lucky day. For this video, I'm going to be using the Lumix G9, but most of these settings and menus can be found in other Lumix cameras as well. So if you don't have a G9, you can still get benefit from this video. Welcome back, subscribers, and if this is your first time here, well, thanks for checking me out. I teach photography, photo editing, a little bit of lighting, and I'm a huge fan of Lumix cameras. Please subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. Now, I'm not a professional videographer. I don't make videos for a living. I do some YouTube videos and I do educational content for my online courses, but I'm not considering myself a videographer. I'm a photographer who shoots video. There's a big difference. I don't have a camera that has all the video features that a professional videographer would have. You know, you can get like a Lumix GH5. That has more features than the G9 and other Lumix cameras that I use. I'm not going there. I'm not dealing with that. I'm keeping things simple. I might use my videos for YouTube, like you see here, or I could use them for hybrid. So hybrid presentations are where you combine photos and videos together. Some people call it fusion, and you blend them together to make a complete story. You make a story about your topic, or maybe it's a fashion shoot or a family portrait session, things like that. So that's a hybrid video, and the techniques I'm showing you here work perfectly for hybrids as well as YouTube. Before we get into the video settings, I just want to talk about my theme of all my videos, just about all my photography stuff, is get it right in the camera. Things like custom white balance, things like proper f-stops and shutter speeds and all the color stuff. And the thing is that if you can shoot a good JPEG, you can shoot a good video, because video is just a series of JPEGs put together to make a movie. That's all video is. So that's why I'm always harping on get it right in the camera, because if you can get it right in the camera for photos, you've got it made for video too. First things first, put your camera on the creative video mode. That's the M with the video camera symbol beside it. Okay, now let's look into the menus in the back of the camera. So you hit your menu set button and you go into the menus for the creative video. The G9 allows you to set up different exposure modes when shooting video. So you can shoot program mode, aperture priority, shutter priority, and manual mode. If you're working in the studio under controlled conditions, I suggest you use manual mode and you control both f-stops and shutter speed. Okay, let's go into the recording format. And you have two choices, AV-CHD and MP4. AV-CHD only allows you to shoot up to 1080p, so you don't get the 4K features available. And it's probably good for long movies because it's a compressed format. Say you're shooting a speaker at a conference and you have a very long video to make, you could shoot an AV-CHD. I prefer MP4. All right, now let's choose our video quality. And in this camera, we have 5 choices. The top one is 4K video and it's 60p. The next one down is 4K video 30p. Next one is 4K video 24p. Then we have our full HD 1080p at 60p and 1080p at 30p. For my YouTube videos, I use 1080p at 60p. I like to have autofocus single shot and continuous AF. When I'm shooting myself on camera, I push the shutter button and I back away from the camera. It'll follow me until I sit down on the chair or whatever I'm shooting on. This is better than manual focus, especially if you're working alone. I used to shoot with a Canon 5D Mark II and I found it extremely hard to focus on myself. I used to have to put in props and focus on the prop. That's one of the reasons I switched to Lumix, is because the focus is amazing for shooting video of yourself. Photo style, as usual, just like with JPEGs, you choose your photo styles. I choose a luminance settings of 16 to 255. Whatever metering mode you want, and you can use your eye dynamic and eye resolution and set your ISO and choose your lower and your upper limit, just like with JPEGs. Now, what about the stabilizer? Well, if you are not using a tripod, you can use the E-stabilization for video or the image stabilizer lock on video. I'm using a tripod in the studio, and I recommend you use a tripod for most of your video shooting anyway, just so you don't get jumpy camera stuff. So I'm just going to leave all that stuff off. What about audio? Well, you can get into the audio settings, and you can see that this is reacting to the built-in mic. You can change your level of pickup. That is a subject for a future video, which I will get into. But one thing I will mention is that I keep the limiter off. So what are my exact settings today in the studio with this amount of light? Okay, so I'm on creative video mode, standard photo style, no flash, MP4, shooting at full HD, so 1920 by 1080p at 60p, autofocus single shot, multi-area focusing, multi-pattern metering, the stereo microphone, the limiter is off, f4.5, a 60th of a second, ISO 200, custom white balance, and I think that just about covers all of my settings for this particular day in the studio with this particular type of lighting and camera. Now, if you don't have a G9, you can look for similar settings in your own camera. Also, you need to test everything with small clips, go right through to the editing process before you go out and shoot your epic feature film. You want to test all this stuff first. Now, there are a couple of other things to consider, such as using neutral density when shooting outdoors, and you want to watch your shutter speed when shooting video, that it's not too high or you're going to get jittery video. But I will cover that in a future video at some point. But for now, these are my settings that I use for indoor studio YouTube videos like the ones you see here. Here's a question somebody asked me: what are the advantages of shooting in 4K? Well, to me, there's one huge advantage, and that is the fact that you can crop your video. Okay, here's my settings. As you know, 1080p is what I shoot at normally. And that's what I upload to YouTube at. It's what I use for my online courses most of the time. Sometimes I only use 720p. If it's just a talking head here, you don't have to see me really high res. You can see my talking head, especially if you're looking on mobile. You don't need 1080p. And you certainly don't need 4K, like holy bandwidth, Batman. So if you shoot in 4K but you export at 1080p, what that allows you to do is crop or zoom in on part of that video clip. Maybe I wanted to zoom into this camera a bit more. If I shot it in 4K, I've got more pixels to work with, more image dimension. Just like with photography, when you crop an image, you can get closer to it. And that's basically what I would do with 4K. That's the advantage. Now, to me, there's some disadvantages, at least for what I do. I'm using this for YouTube videos, for online course videos. I'm not shooting stock photography. I'm not making Hollywood epics that are being shown on the big screen. My videos are for the small screen, so 4K to me, total overkill. It's going to tax my memory of my computer system. It's going to take longer to edit. It's going to take longer to render those videos out of my video editing software. It's just going to add a lot of time to my already busy schedule of pumping out these YouTube videos. But if you're shooting stock video, you definitely could shoot 4K. You want to do that. That way it gives your clients the option of cropping, or your clients the option of showing them on the huge screen. So yeah, shoot 4K if that's your goal, cinematic. But if you're just shooting for YouTube, if you're just shooting for your online courses or any kind of web graphics, Instagram, that kind of stuff, 1080p is perfectly fine. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And let me know your questions below this video, any comments you have or any questions. I'll be happy to have a look at them there. I prefer that over email, actually. I don't often get to all my emails every day, but I try to get to my YouTube comments as quickly as possible. I try to get to everything within 24 hours. And don't forget to check out the community section of my YouTube channel where I post extra stuff in between videos. If you'd like to learn more about Lumix cameras, specifically the G9, I have a couple of playlists for you right here.